guys, my name is Miss Fitzgerald and I'm going to be teaching you a short lesson today, and we are going to be learning about how to divide shapes into parts made up of equal areas. So when you order a pizza from like a pizza place on a Friday night or whatever, what do they come, or what shape does it come in?
Circle.
Is the circle, are they cut up into pieces?
Yes.
Would you say that pieces are for the most part equal to one another?
Yes.
Are they supposed to be? Yeah. What about when a pan of brownie comes out of the oven? Do you cut it or do you eat the whole entire piece in one bite?
Cut it.
Cut it, exactly. And so when you cut it, wouldn't you want them to be equal so that like your brother or sister does not get a bigger piece than you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. So that's what we're going to be learning today, is how to cut a shape into equal pieces so that everything can be fair. So to be able to divide shapes into equal pieces, we must first know, or into equal pieces that have the same area, we must first know what it means to be equal and what area is. So to be equal, each piece must be the same size or equivalent to one another. Equivalent to one another is another way to say that something is identical. So if we look at these two green triangles, do they look like they are identical? They're the same, look the same, everything? Exactly, so they are equal. So now if we were to look at area is the size of the surface or the amount of space inside of a shape. So let's look at these two triangles again. Do they look like they take up the same surface and there's the same area inside of each shape? Exactly, so we can see that these are equal and they have the same area. So now to be able to divide shapes into parts with equal areas, the shapes used must be equal and have the same size so that they cover the original shape. Sometimes the shapes used to divide the larger shape are smaller versions of that shape, or they can be different as well. But the most important thing is that the shapes used to divide a larger shape are equal and have the same area. Alright, so here is a diamond right here. And if we wanted to divide the diamond into equal parts, the first thing we would do is look at all the shapes that we have to use to see which ones are identical or equivalent to one another, and then kind of group those together so that we can look at those. So we'll use our little shapes here, just the different ones we have, and group them into groups. Alright, so now we look and see, are there any that are a smaller version of the diamond that we're working with right here? And so right away I can see that there are these blue ones right here, which can divide this diamond into smaller pieces. And so as you can see, the blue diamonds are all equal to one another and have the exact same area. So this would be a correct way to divide a diamond. Now looking at my groups here of my other shapes, I can see that there's another shape that could possibly divide these blue diamonds to make it into even smaller, but still being equal and still having the same area all around. And so we can take these triangles and they can divide it. So these also divide it equally and identically, and they're all the same, the exact same way. So what do you guys notice about the two ways so far that we've divided our diamonds? Like, what do you notice about the shapes that were used?
They are triangles.
Yeah.
This would be two triangles.
Yeah, but what else do you notice about, like, in number one we used all
Diamonds.
and in number two we used all
Triangles.
So in each one, we're using the same shape. We're not mixing them and using different shapes. They're each made up of all the same shape, which they have to be in order to be equal and have the same area as one another. So what if we were to divide a diamond like this? Give me a thumbs up if you do not think this would be a right way to divide a diamond into equal parts.
No.
Perfect. Yes. Thumbs up if you do not think it's correct. Exactly. And why do you think this? Like, why is this way not correct?
Because there's two different shapes and they're not even.
It's not all the same shape dividing it.
Yep. And they're
Perfect.
all equal in sizes.
Exactly. Great job. All right. So now that we have learned, in order to divide a shape into equal areas, the shapes that are being used have to be identical to one another with the same shape and be the same size. Alright, so now taking what we have learned using these little shapes, let's look at these triangles right here. But before we start about those, let's really quickly go over what a shape has, or what the shapes that make up, that are being used to divide it have to be. There's two things we've talked about. They have to be something and something.
Same areas.
Area. And
Take up the same amount of space.
So like equal or identical to one another. So equal and identical, which mean the same thing or have the same area. Exactly. All right. So here's one way. So we're going to divide our triangle this way. So go ahead and give me a thumbs up for yes if you think this is the right way, or a thumbs up for, or a thumbs down for no if you think this is a wrong way to divide a triangle. Perfect. Okay, raising your hand, one person, tell me why you said no.
No, because it is two different shapes and those shapes don't have the same area. So you
Perfect.
can't divide it that way.
How could we maybe fix this so that it could be correct? Go ahead and answer this.
we
What
could
could we do?
try to do all triangles and smaller triangles, since, or just use the same shape.
Perfect, exactly, very good. Alright, okay, so now for this one. Go ahead and same thing, give me a thumbs up if you think it's right, and a thumbs down if you think it's wrong. Perfect, okay, and this time, why did you do a thumbs down for no?
The shapes don't have all of the same area, and there's two different shapes.
Perfect. Perfect. And again, how can we fix this one so that it goes correct?
You could use all the little green triangles to divide it.
All right, good job. Okay. So now we have this one, and go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you think it is correct, or a thumbs down if you think it is wrong. All right, great. And why do you think it is? Why did you do a thumbs up?
Because it's all the same shape and all the shapes are the same area.
Exactly. Great job. Okay. So now that we've seen the right way and the wrong way to divide shapes into equal parts, let's go over one more time what we look for when we are trying to divide a shape. What are the two things that a shape must be?
Same area.
Equal and same size.
Exactly. No, you're right. Okay. So now let's practice what we've learned today and try it on our own. And so here you guys go. You're each going to get a piece of paper, and using all the blocks in front of you, divide each shape that is provided so that they show equal parts. And if you guys have any questions while you're doing it, feel free to ask me. And when you guys are done, go ahead and turn over your paper, and you can draw on the back, or you can keep playing with the shapes and make other equal parts. Okay, so what have we learned today about dividing shapes into equal areas?
When you divide it, you have to divide it with all the same shape, and the shapes have to be all the same area.
Exactly. What is something that you notice about the shapes that were used to divide these hexagons, like how they relate to one another?
They're half of the shape.
And so do you kind of notice like a pattern that, like if you were trying to explain like a pattern that was being used, could you kind of explain that to me by pointing at your shapes? And like how they go into the next one, like how they equal into the hexagons?
This is half of this. If that makes sense. And then